I don't really try to keep it a secret that my favorite car in all of BeamNG's stock vehicles is the little Pickle. Now, reasons why I like it so much is because it has just basically everything for the sweet spot of BeamNG. One, low speed, low acceleration, all that sort of stuff. You know, generally a lack of power where BeamNG shines a lot. And two, no aero. Now, I have gone in and stuffed up the low speed aspect when I went and put the V8 from the bolide in here. So I've basically ruined what was best about this car, and also with the amount of power it has, it's not great with handling. But EK Spect over here has gone and also given it Aero. Well, that was a choice and a half. He says that this is his first mod and he wants a lot of criticism so he can do better. Criticizing people? That's my sweet spot. I should probably get less mean hobbies. The first issue is for your first mod, you've not made a pre-built thing here. That's a bit of an annoyance. You have, however, made a preset here. So I'm going to give a little bit of a tutorial here. We're going to unpack the mod. We're going to save our preset as test, then open the configs. What you'll do then is grab your configs and drag them into where your mod is. Now that's as far as you've gotten, and that's pretty good. What you'll do next is go into your vehicles folder in your BeamNG install directory, open up something like the Autobella, doesn't particularly matter, scroll down, find the info underscore, basically any name. You would then drag this in, copy the name of this, which, by the way, there shouldn't be a space in there. That should really be an underscore. Then copy that name with the underscores in there, and then replace that part with that, and there you go. That was the only thing missing to get a selectable vehicle. Perfect. Now there's going to be a lot of misinformation here, and in here is, that's all the default vehicle stuff. You can't just go in and edit this, but you know what you can also do? You can also basically delete everything. So I'm going to get rid of that. Then gonna get rid of that. That's all I need to do. Change this to race, I don't know, whatever. This will get changed to your hill climb, and this one doesn't need the underscore, and a bit of a description. Now, when you click on it, you'll have just a little bit of information there, but basically no other information. But that's because we just got rid of it. I don't know what it is, and you know what? It really doesn't matter. Job's a good one. You were so close. I commend you, but you were missing just the littlest bit of thing. Now, let's get on to criticizing the actual vehicle itself. And the fact that you've actually got it working is pretty good. You seem to have stuck a engine in here that I'm not familiar. Is this the engine? No. This looks like the intake, at least, out of the SBR, and a big turbo on it. You know what? It doesn't sound the same. What do we got in here? That is the manifold. Let's have a look at these accessories. Is it the same accessories? Yes, it is. Is it the same valve covers? Yes, they are. It is literally just the SBR engine. But you know what? They've done a little bit more work than that. Does it still have the old swing arm suspension? Yes, it does. Fantastic. So it's still going to be a nightmare to handle. Fantastic. However, the Aero package is leaving a lot to be desired. For one, this rear diffuser sort of thing is probably not going to be able to take the full weight of this wing, which in real life would probably be generating anywhere from 500 to 2,000 kilos of downforce, probably, and it would just completely crush this thing. You would probably want it to be mounted directly to the body. But the thing that I am really having a bit of a bugbear about is this front splitter. Now you notice that the front splitter over here is fairly flat. That's because splitters don't work like aerofoils. They're not trying to create a low pressure underneath like this, so they're not really meant to be angled downwards, which this would actually be more likely just to punch air on the front. What they're doing there is dividing air, so then underneath it could be a lot smoother to be able to give you a much better ground effect, for instance. So where you've done an okay job, I would like to see that flattened out. And then the final thing, the body design and the aero feels a little bit like an anachronism. But you know what? Let's actually see how it drives and see if you've improved my favorite car. But you can't test a hill climb car without a hill climb. And this is Pikes Peak. I'm gonna be honest, I don't like my chances of making it up here. We have a combination of, I think it was about 300 horsepower this engine was making in this car, with going uphill in a short wheelbase, rear-wheel drive, rear engine, swing arm suspension. This thing just is going to want to oversteer. And yes, it is quite twitchy. Brakes are very, very effective. And then you gotta be careful about brake and turn, and I'm finding, because it wants to let go on me, but you know what? We're doing okay. Oh, I could feel it wants to let go. Oh, and just touching that dirt. But look at that, 360 no scope. It literally, you wouldn't want to use a no scope. You wouldn't want to use it. My bearing's no good. Oh, the tank slapper. Once that started going, oh, it was game over. I mean, I didn't die, so that was at least lucky. I am glad to say that they've got all the exhaust nodes lined up. So let's have the exhaust at the right place for your first mod, bro. Very well done. This is pretty good stuff. Just, there goes the car. The Aero package, yeah, could do with a little bit more work, like the mounting on the rear and then the flattening out of the front Aero splitter. No, come on! Let's just pretend that that one didn't happen and keep trying to make our way up the hill. Ooh, I'm finding that getting anywhere near touching dirt is becoming a real problem. I mean, maybe touching grass wouldn't be so bad, but you know, touching dirt, no, that's the forbidden outside activity. Oh, come on. Yeah. With yeah, but it's hard to drive. With the short wheelbase, that means that it will want to rotate a lot more because it's got a smaller moment of inertia, I believe is what it's called, when things aren't so far away from their center pivot point. So everything is against this vehicle being exceptionally fast. Fun to drive, hell yes, but fast is gonna go hand in hand also with a little bit of deadly. And on one of the most dangerous racing events on the calendar, this one is going to end up becoming a real problem. I might go for a less aggressive steering rack. Quick ratio, oh no, I've only got quick ratio. Oh, no, hold on. I could change that down to a normal steering box. And you know what? It feels a little bit better. I don't have to worry about quite so much, and my adjustments now are able to be a lot more subtle, as opposed to just a bit of a bludgeoning force of the rotation of this very small wheel. I probably should break out the sim rig, but to be honest, I don't think that's going to help in a vehicle that is so fundamentally already flawed. And that's also another reason why I like the Pickle so much, is I love flawed concepts of vehicles that try to do something very fun or very interesting, but yet just manage to, you know, be really bad at it. Kind of like my MGF. Try to take the running gear from a front engine and put it in the rear of a vehicle so it's a transversely mounted mid-engine. Yeah, lots of problems there. God, the popping on these trees, what is happening? Something weird is going on in your neighborhood. Oh, no. Oh, that's right out of a movie like Bad Boys or something. I can't actually think. Is there a movie where they try to stop before a cliff? I can only think of ones with horses for some reason. I'm not sure. Anywho, there we go. This is hard. This is a very difficult vehicle to drive, and I think that's part of what makes it so charming. But I'm gonna take his Aero package and match it with my more mid-mounted engine weight-based V8, and immediately this feels a lot worse at driving. Oh, you know what, actually? It's a little bit more understeery, which I think is going to help us with our oversteery issue. So it kind of balances it out just a smidgy poo. Oh, it's a lot faster. But I think I have the skills to be able to... Oh no, I didn't realize that that sign was solid. Oh, I died. Wow, that was a clean shave. No bodywork damage really on the back here. Just ever so slightly shaved off those wheels. This time, we're gonna just avoid that sign. And we're getting very close to the Devil's Playground now. My most knowledgeable part, the part which I used to do every week when I would do automation cars. It was a real fun time, but also, oh, so brutal. And here we go. We're gonna punch it up. This is basically the starting line here. And then we start wide. We brake nice and smooth. Lift off the brakes into this area because it goes over a ridge. Don't want to accelerate too soon because that will incredibly unsettle the car. Now we got a really long sweeping corner here. It feels like it's meant to be high speed, but if you do that, you just tend to drift. And then a curve into a braking zone, so you have to straighten out your wheels as you brake. Gets a little bit sloppy there. Otherwise, you're gonna lock up your brakes because your tires are not going exactly the way that they want to. Now here, if you do it right, you can flat-foot it through here, but I don't think this vehicle has quite the aero package for that, and, well, I'm not brave enough to get it anywhere near flat-footing it. Then you gotta brake nice and early into this section, but not like that! Oh, we've had an oopsie-daisy. Let's pretend that never happened. I know this track really well, yep. And then we're gonna start into the S-ing hairpins areas. Not too bad there. You gotta watch out that you don't ride the rocks on the way over. Then this one you wanna be basically smooth through on the exit. The exit is the big thing here, because you could build a lot of speed up before you get to this next one, and you don't want to have the vehicle having any sort of weight shift you go into here, because there's a bit of a tight turn, and then into like a full hairpin, and you will just shoot off if you don't get it right, and your ABS or your wheels lock up. Here, it feels like you can go really fast, but you do have to slow down for that corner unless you got massive amounts of aero. Then into the first of these sorts of corners. I can never remember which one is which because they all look identical to me, to be honest. Then we have the second sneaky corner, as this one here looks like you can go full speed, but it starts curving around into this. And then little hairpin here. Feel like that one's always a little bit safer, not such a problem. It's not too bad coming around here. This one's going to be another identical looking hairpin, so I always end up braking way too early for it. And then we got this. It just kind of disappears. It feels like you can go super fast, but you have to line it up really well, otherwise you will just fly off there, and I feel that that's probably where most people struggle with. And another one of the S's, not too bad. Very short zone up here into here, into the final hairpin. Oh, the final of the S's, I should say. The track does keep snaking around, but that's basically the main S's parts done with. That's Devil's Playground for you. Now we're into the top third of the track. This part is hard for me because it's really high speed with no runoff. Oh, come on. I was saving it and caught a wrong bounce. God, a vehicle so unforgiving as this on this track. Yeah, you're gonna struggle to not reset if you're pushing any sort of hard amount here. You don't want to go too much to the inside there because for this version of the track here in BeamNG, it is very bouncy on that inside area. You can try it if you want, but I would rather not lift off oversteer. Be very careful about that with these sorts of vehicles. Now, I think coming up around this next corner, we're going to be able to finally see the summit properly. There we go, that's the summit, and that's where we're heading. Not very high detail from this far distance away, but we'll get there eventually. Got a bit of a high speed section here. And then straight into a hairpin. And you have to just know where to start braking. Oh, or you can guess like I just did. But I suppose I have done this track a few times, so I have at least some experience. But it is rather hard to gauge because your sense of speed up here, with not really much land or trees or whatever moving around you, it's all a little bit muddying the waters. Oh, now I think coming up, yeah, around here I usually end up running up the embankment because I carry too much speed through it. It looks like a high-speed section once again, but you do have to slow down significantly for the corners. Now we're going to run into a little bit of an S's section. Yeah, here we go. Here's the S's into the second to last hairpin. You can go pretty fast through here, but it is really hard to tell where the end is, and it's right there. It sneaks up on you because it's just kind of unassuming. If only there was some sort of like road sign. Maybe there is a road sign, maybe I'm just blind. But barricades maybe even, because going off there is so easy. Now high speed right, which will then end up becoming a low speed hairpin for the final hairpin. Nice and cleanly through, and the final left bend to the summit. And there you go. Done it perfectly without a single crash. That's what happens when you know this track very well. You become a perfect, undisputable driver like me. For now though, I would like to thank my channel members, and that specifically includes Rogue Tick, the Carrion Priest, for being a top tier channel member. For the rest of you though, I'll catch you all next time. Goodbye.